Hey, Ryan.
Hey, what's up?
What you working on?
Alright, so just finished the update to the Create an App Like Uber course. That course is finished. I just created another update. Keep in mind, on my YouTube channel, I start you off for free on how to create an app like Uber. During this process, you're going to learn how to code. You're going to learn how to use Swift, the Swift language. You're going to learn how to use location-based services. These types of things and features in an app is really going to give you an advantage if you're trying to get a job in app development, or ultimately if you're trying to create your own apps to generate your own passive income or generate your own income off of applications. What you get in the course is you get me walking you through step by step how to create an app like Uber. You get the search controllers. You get payment integration. I actually have added that. That's one of the pieces that I just finished a few weeks ago. So it's really, really intuitive. I know you'll love it.
Okay, so this is different. Why? Is it just an average update?
Yeah, so basically when I say I did an update, Apple constantly changes their code. So traditionally it was done, all right, I code out the app, you follow along while I'm coding out in Xcode. Yeah, that's fine. There was no issues with that. But the thing is, now that I've converted this to a Keynote format, whenever Apple releases an update, I can just paste the code in the Keynote, voice over it, and boom, push out more content to you. And I think that's what's really the value, because a lot of this takes time, and creating these videos over and over and over again, of course, programmers, they never like typing the same code over and over again. That's why we create functions to do certain functionality. So I tried to create something that's more intuitive and quicker, so that you can consume more content. And that's why I converted it to Keynote format. And not to cut you off, but I just want to show my audience what I'm doing with this Keynote. So basically I'm going in here and let me show you how some of the code looks. So we get down here, let's jump here, and then let's play this. Alright, so what you'll see is I'll be tapping through the Keynote, and then I'll just explain in the lines of code as they come up. And you'll be able to type that, follow along and type in Xcode as I'm teaching you on video. And it's video, so you can rewind and you can fast forward. And in the end of the video, I pretty much show you how my code looks in Xcode so that you can see exactly how it looks. And then I actually show you what the outcome of the video looks like in the beginning of the Keynote. And then
Let me just make sure that I got this right. This is in Firebase?
yes. This is, and that was one of the main things, is that it is in Firebase. My previous videos showed it in Parse, but then I showed the integration to Firebase. But that video still shows how to put Parse in. So I wanted to cut that out and just start off with Firebase. So to create an app like Uber courses in Google back and Firebase.
So you think Firebase will be around for a long time?
Yes, it's a Google product. It's going to be around for a while. They've added a bunch of new features to it since when we first started a while back. So learning Firebase is going to be amazing for you, and I just can't wait to see you produce top-notch apps with Firebase and the latest Swift programming language.
So with the latest Keynote, we will be updated with everything. And moving forward, when Apple releases a new update in code, it'll be easier for you to get the videos out faster.
Correct. With this latest Keynote, you're going to be updated with everything. I'm going to keep you abreast. I'm going to push out content, give you a lot of free content on my site, swiftowls.com. And yeah, everything will be pushed out quickly with this new format that I'm testing out, and ultimately for the future see myself continuing.
Awesome. Can't wait to see what else you have to show us.
I can't wait. Hey, this is what I love to do. I love coding, and ultimately I love teaching others how to code. And I hope you guys produce some good apps and do some good things with this in the future.
Thank you, Ryan.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back. This is Ryan Ralph, the creator of the Create an App Like Uber course. You'll know me from my Swift Owls channel. Basically, what I'm going to do is make over part 1 Actually, I'm gonna go through and do a makeover on all of the videos, but this is the makeover of the part 1 video, and I'll have updated content for you. And in part 1, I show you how to create a video background just like in the Uber app. So this first slide is gonna literally show you exactly what the app, what you're gonna be creating today. Alright, so what we're going to do now is create a new project. So just go to your Finder, go to your applications and click on Xcode. And then once you click Xcode, you're going to go to File, New, and start a new project by clicking on Project. And then you're going to click on Single View Application. And then once you click on Single View Application, you will select the options. Basically on this screen, you're going to just give it a product name. I named the app Ober Video BG. You're going to select your team, you got organization name, and then identifier is always com dot your name, so Swift, com dot Swift dials. The language is going to be Swift. We're going to click Next, and then we're going to choose the directory to where we're going to save the file at. So right now I'm saving in my documents and then in an apps folder within my documents. So once you save your file, click on Create, and then from this point we're going to install CocoaPods, because this app is going to be using Firebase, Google's Firebase. So what I want you to do now is open up a command prompt. And to do that, you're going to click on the Finder button first, and then you're going to click on Applications, and then you're going to click Utilities, and then you're going to double click on the terminal. Once the terminal comes up, I want you to type in sudo gem install CocoaPods. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to install CocoaPods on your machine. So that you can use it. Alright, so once you install your pod, you want to navigate to the project directory which contains Xcode. So basically we're going to install the pod here, but in order to install the pod, we need to navigate in our terminal to the folder that our project is in. So on the next slide, I will show you how to do that. Alright, so in a minute I'm going to show you a video on how to navigate to a particular folder and then initialize a pod, open a pod file, and then install a pod file. It may vary on your machine depending on where you saved your document. So when I show this video, you'll see that I navigated to my documents folder, and then I navigated to my apps folder, and then I navigated to a folder called Ober Video BG-1, and that is where my Xcode project resided. So from that point, once I got into that folder, I was able to run pod init, and then I was able to open the pod file and then paste in the Firebase dependencies. And then once the dependencies were pasted in, then I ran pod install to install those dependencies. And with this video, I will give you the dependencies that you can add in. So I'm going to run this video so that you can see exactly what I did. Right there, I'm getting into documents, and then I'm getting into my apps folder, and now I'm jumping into that Ober Video BG folder. Then I run pod init, it initializes, and at that point I can go open pod file. Alright, now the pod file is open, and then we're going to take that hashtag off to allow that platform. Make sure there's no hashtag in front of use frameworks, and these are the pods that I've added for this project. Alright, now you can run pod install, and all of the dependencies will install. And this actually may take a few minutes. So just let it do what it has to do. All right, so after the pod installed, we can go ahead and open our project again. And what you're going to have to do is, from this point on, open your project, the XC workspace file. So if you look below at the picture, you'll see the third, well, there's a folder and then there's two files. You have that old Xcode project file, the .xcode project, and then you have the Ober video bg-1.xc workspace. That is what you're going to have to open every time you open your project. Alright, now that we have our project open, click on main.storyboard, and what we're going to do here is create an outlet, an IB outlet from our view to our code. So basically that's just a connection so that we can actually work with the view in code. So I'm going to run the video so that you can see exactly how to do this. Alright, so we click in that so that we can open up our code, and we're going to control drag over to viewcontroller.swift. We're going to give it the name video view, and we're good to go. Alright, now what we're going to do is import our video asset. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. You're just going to have to know how to navigate to get your video, and then just import it. So let me run this video so that you can see that. Basically what I did was just right clicked on Ober video bg-1, and that pulled up the option where I can add a new where I can add the assets in. I'm just gonna drag it down. We're good to go. Now it's time to jump into some code. Alright, so what you're gonna do is hop over into your viewcontroller.swift. And then you're gonna import UI kit. That's gonna already be imported. But you're gonna have to import AV foundation and import AV kit. And you have to import these so that we can work with the AV foundation and the AV kit. Alright, so we're still in viewcontroller.swift, and we're gonna create a function. So right before the last curly brace, you're gonna just click in some open space and create a function. That function name is going to be setup view. So you're going to use func setup view, open parentheses, close parentheses, and then you're going to open up a curly bracket. And when you enter down, it'll probably close off your curly bracket and add a closing one. So we have function setup view. That's going to be our function to set up our view. Alright, so right here we're going to create a variable, and it's going to be let, and basically let is saying that this can't change. It's going to be static, it can't change. If we were to use var, then we would be able to change on the variable over time throughout the app. So we're going to say let and then path. Path is going to be the name of the variable. So let path equal URL, file URL with path. And then we're going to pass in a bundle URL. So we're going to use bundle.main.path for resource. And we're going to, right here for resource is going to be intro video. That is the name of our video. And then of type, well, the type of the video is move, .mov file. So we're going to use .mov. Alright, now we're going to create a player, an AV player. So we're going to say let player equals AV player, and then we're going to pass in the URL, which is path. Path contains the URL that we created above. And then we're going to create an AV player layer. So from here we're going to go let new layer, and by the way, new layer, player, and path, those all can be names that you create. These are just variable names so that we can access that data later on. So we're going to go let new player equals AV player layer, and then we're going to pass in the player, which is the line of code right above this line. Let player equals AV player URL, and where we passed in that URL, well, this is where we're going to pass in the player. Alright, so right here we're saying that we want the new layers frame to be equal to self.videoView.frame. So remember earlier when we created that IB outlet? Well, that was our connection to code. So we can get the frame of that view on that storyboard and say, all right, we want this frame to be the same frame as the new layer frame. So basically, we're saying we want this video to take up the entire view. And that's what that is doing. Alright, so now we're going to take self.videoView, and you can access that IB outlet with self. So you're going to say self.videoView.layer.add sublayer equals the new layer. So basically we're just adding this layer to the view so that you can see it on screen. Alright, now you're going to set the video gravity so that the ratio video gravity will resize aspect fill. That's how it's going to fill the screen. So you're going to go new layer.video gravity equals AVPlayer video gravity resize aspect fill. Now what we want to do is play the video. So we're going to say player.play, and that's going to play the video. Alright, so what we're doing right here is we're saying player.action at item n. So what's going to happen at the end of the video? Well, the AVPlayer action at item n dot none is what we're going to select. Alright, so the last line of code on this slide is going to be notification center dot default dot add observer. Well, the observer is self because we're in the view controller, which is going to be observing this notification, and we need a notification to see when the video ends. So we're gonna pass in a selector, which is hashtag selector view controller dot video did play to end, and then we're gonna give it a name. ns notification dot name is going to be AVPlayer item did play to end time notification. You have to type that in exact. AVPlayer item did play to end time notification. And then we're going to pass in the object, which is going to be the player that we created, the player's current item. And in the next slide, I'm going to show you why we did that. We're going to basically need to access the info from this object in the selector. Alright, so what we're going to do here, we're still in viewController.swift. We're going to create a function with the name video did play to end, which is used as a selector in the setup view function. So remember when we passed in that selector, well, it has to have video did play to end. That name has to be exactly spelled exactly the way that we spelled it in the selector, because that's the function that we're going to be using to call a selector. Alright, so we're going to create this function by using func video did play to end, and then we're going to say notification, and we're going to just pass in a notification, because that's, well, we're not passing it in, we're just saying that this is going to be of type notification. So we're going to say let player, which is an AVPlayer item, equals notification. Because if you see right there up in the function, we have the name of that variable labeled notification, all in lowercase, right before colon. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the notification.object as an AVPlayer item. And then we're going to say player.seek to, and then we're going to say k cmt times 0. So basically that's just going to rewind the video back to the beginning and close off that curly bracket, and you're good to go. Alright, so the last step is to run that setup view in the viewDidLoad function so that it'll get called when the view loads. So you're going to have video view where we created that outlet. It's going to be under that. So you'll see override function viewDidLoad. So you're going to hop up into this function. You're going to see super viewDidLoad. Then you're going to see this text right here. And then right under that text, is where you're going to call a setup view function in the view.dit load so that the code will run when the view loads. And that's all that code looks like. All you're going to put there is self.setupView, which is the function that we created earlier. Then you're going to make sure that that curly brace is closed off. Alright, so for this video, we're finished. What I'm going to do here is just pretty much let you see exactly how the code looks finished and then show you the finished product. So I'm going to play this video right now for you. And while you're waiting, stay tuned for the next part of the series where we're going to add the text to the screen and the two buttons at the bottom of this screen, which are going to be sign in and register. That's going to be part 2 of this video.